Mel. We need to have a talk. Mel, we need to have a talk because you said something recently and I need to comment on it. Welcome, one, welcome all, welcome back to your space for everything empowerment. I am your host, Tariq Williams, and not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope, and welcome back to the Speak Your Vision podcast. Speak Your Vision podcast, let's get it. So, this is your space for empowerment, okay? But when I see something that doesn't feel real, or doesn't, excuse me, I shouldn't say real, but doesn't feel in line with how I feel, I think I need to say something about it. Okay. I want you all to get the authentic version of me. And there's a lot of people that I truly respect a lot online, a lot of mindset coaches I really respect, a lot of speakers I really respect, a lot of, outlooks on life that I've seen that I want to bring my own authentic perspective to. That's what we're going to do in this episode. In this episode, we're going to discuss something that Mel Robbins said. Mel Robbins, somebody that you all know, famous speaker, author, friend, as she says on her podcaster, as she says on her Instagram. We're going to talk about something that she said recently. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I respect her so much, why I think I need her, we need to have a talk, why I disagree with something that she said, and ultimately how we come together and how it can lift all of us up. So let's get into it. So, Mel Robbins, Mel. We need to have a talk. Mel, we need to have a talk because you said something recently and I need to comment on it. And I respect you so much, Mel, that I want to use my platform for what it is to have a conversation to speak on it, because I know that you believe in empowerment, just like we do on the Speak Your Vision podcast, just like we do on wearevisionofhope.com, all those different things, right? I know that you believe in empowerment and the space of what empowerment means. But we got to comment on something you said, Mel. We need to have a talk. So come on over, take a seat, Mel Robbins. Let's have a talk. So, and Mel, here's the situation. This is not the first time we've been here, Mel. It's pretty crazy, actually. I was pretty surprised that it's been over a year ago that we discussed Mel's, viral "No One's Coming." No one's coming to write the business plan for you. No one's coming to support you. No one's coming to believe in you. All those different things, right, Mel? And I didn't like that because if you have no one coming to support you and be there for you, Mel, well, then you need to go find other people to be around. You are clearly spending your time with the wrong people. If you're in a space where there are people who are talking bad about you and, we don't got to get into that today. Podcast for another episode. But if you surround yourself with people who are talking bad about you, if you're surrounding yourself with people who don't believe in you, if you're surrounding yourself with people who are like telling you to give up on what you want to do, what you want to achieve, those are not the people for you. However, it was coming from a space of being real and telling you that if you want that thing, you better start doing something different. Now that's different. Because we're a big believer here. If you want something different, you got to do something different. If you want something different, you have to do something different. It's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. See, the thing about the podcast is that my goal here is not to be confusing. If you want a quadratic equation, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. I'm sorry. We don't do the math thing here. However, real side note, math, if you break it down, it's not that difficult. It's just all about problem solving. I digress. Maybe we talk about that another time. Mel, come back here. We got to have a talk. Sorry, I digressed, Mel. So, Mel, the Olympics just happened. Shout out to the Olympics. Ba-da, ba, ba, ba. All right. If I do any more, they'll probably copyright me. But anyways, so shout out to the Olympics. The Olympics were great this year. We talked about what an Olympic mindset means, what we can learn from that last week. So if you didn't see that or listen to that, you better go back because there were a lot of great lessons to learn. Besides the point, nevertheless, Mel, let's have this talk right now. We've waited too long for the talk, Mel. So here's what we got to talk about. So I saw a short, and this podcast episode is about to be about something else. And I saw this on social media right before I was getting ready to record. And I was like, Mel, I'm sorry. I'm too passionate about this right now. I have to talk about this for our conversation. So, on the Mel Robbins podcast, she has a podcast that she puts out episodes, great podcast. And I'll be honest with the listeners, I haven't listened to the whole podcast yet, but the short, the clip that she chose to be out there was she talked about a study. Mel Robbins talked about a study where the happiest people have a bronze medal mindset. And the reason why they're the happiest, the reason why they're so happy is what they do is, I guess, studies show that people who win the bronze medal are happier. And so she was telling us in her podcast, the Mel Robbins Show, that you want to have a bronze medal mindset because you'll be happier that way. You're able to compare down and not be disappointed for you not getting to wherever it is you want to be. That's the long story short version. Okay. And I'm going to check out the whole thing here. And if I feel like I've just said something incorrectly, I'll talk about it on next week's episode. But the fact that she said what she said about, once again, you want to have a bronze medal mindset to be able to compare down, all right, to be able to not be upset about whatever situation that you were trying to get to, and really talking about the importance of having a bronze medal mindset and being happy with that, because bronze medal people are the happiest people. Mel, that couldn't be farther from the truth, in my opinion. I would never tell my listeners or the people that connect with me to have a bronze medal mindset. Just because studies might show that people that have a bronze medal mindset are happier, maybe we need to have a better conversation with the people who are getting silver and gold. Okay? Because, and what therapy and mindset coaching, what those things look like for those individuals. Because what you're telling me is, based upon studies, I need to have a bronze medal mindset because having a more than mindset, because having a gold medal mindset is too high. And I know that you didn't say that, but what happens is that's the expectation that we're setting. That is the connotation. When you tell someone that less than is okay, fun fact, people are going to believe that less than is okay. I can't help but to talk about, so before I created this podcast and before I created the channel and everything like that, I was exclusively working with only other blind people. Okay. And in the process of working with blind people, one of the big things that we talk about and understand is we talk about maturity and learned helplessness, those different concepts that come up when it's like, oh, let me do that for you because you're blind. Oh, you can't cross the street because you're blind. Oh, let me do that for you. Let me cook your dinner. Let me make you all these different things. Let me tell you right now, I know blind professors. I know blind lawyers. I know blind teachers. I know blind scientists. Come on now. And yes, I used plural at the end of all these, all of these. I've used plural, okay? Plural. I know that sounded like a Z, okay? But the thing is, we are missing the boat here. We're missing the boat here on what this truly means. As a person, and when we talk about blind people, I'm going to use this example. I'm going to bring it back to Mel Robbins for a moment. The blind people that I've worked with, a lot of times I'm the first person setting a high expectation for them. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm saying when you. I know it's difficult, but when you get there, you'll be all right. Okay. But ultimately, things aren't difficult. Things aren't hard. Things are just new. We've talked about this way episodes ago. They're new. So having a gold medal mindset is always new to you, then it's always going to be difficult. But if you want to stay at the bronze because it's comfortable, because it makes you happy, we need to have a conversation. So here's the situation. When we talk about blind people and society having low expectations for blind people, that needs to be changed. And the blind people that I've worked with in the past, when I've set high expectations for them, they meet them. But because they've always been set to low expectations, they've continually met their low expectations instead of working to get to their higher expectations. Continuously. See, people don't know what they don't know. So if they stay at a low level, they're going to stay at a low level because it's comfortable. And getting back to the conversation here, if we stay with this bronze medal mindset, you're telling your subconscious self that you're not good enough for gold or you're not good enough for silver. And here's the thing. I know that you believe different, Mel. I know that you believe different, and I haven't really told many jokes this episode because this is serious. Mel Robbins, I respect you. I look up to you. I want to be what you're doing. Well, however, nah, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to be you because all I can be is me. I can only bring my authentic self to the table. I don't have your lived experience, Mel Robbins. I only have Tariq Williams' lived experience. So I can't necessarily be you. But when I believe and I respect so many things that you say, like I literally believe over 99% of the things that you say, and I'm with and I co-sign. And maybe I should do an episode about agreeing with the things that you do and say. But when it was said, and it was disappointing, it was hurtful. And not only that, I would never tell anybody to think about less than. Now, for the individuals that aren't happy with silver and gold medal, that they're not as happy, that's a different conversation. That's a different support that needs to be had. That's a different, respect that they need for themselves, a self-love, a self-care they need for themselves. See, that's the missing part of the conversation there. You got to have a gold medal mindset, but you got to remember to protect self-care. See, earlier this week on social media, I talked about mental health check. Mental health check. You taking care of your mental health? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you being honest? Tell the truth. Check in with yourself. That's what we talked about. That's what we talked about on social media. And so the situation is this. If you aren't taking care of you, we have to do something different. So when we talk about the gold medal and the silver medal situations there, we need to make sure that that's a different conversation. All right. And it's interesting with Mel Robbins because later, maybe a day or two later, she's talking about the fact that you need to push yourself. You need to push yourself out of bed to get to where you want to be. You have to learn how to push yourself and grow. So, Mel, I know that you believe in what I'm saying, but the thing is, we can't be incomplete. We got to show consistency. It's not push yourself one day and then be okay with a bronze medal the next. And I'm so passionate about this because I just don't believe in less than. And I know the expectations that some people had for me as a blind person when I first became blind were less than. And if it wasn't for the mentors and role models that were there for me that set high expectations for your boy, I would not be in front of you today talking about this. I would not have my own podcast. I would not have gotten my master's degree. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Less than? Less than? Less? Bronze? Bronze medal. Here's the deal. You need to have a gold medal mindset. You need to have a gold medal mindset. Hold on. No. That's incorrect. You deserve a gold medal mindset. Every day you wake up, you deserve it to yourself to be your best self. Every day. We recognize your best might look different on certain days. Don't get me wrong. We recognize your best may look different. However, you deserve it to you to show up and be that best self, whatever it looks like. And then on the days where you have that gold medal mindset and you get silver, you get third, you get fourth, we take a step back. We self-care. We respect ourselves. We respect the person who we are. We respect that person. We're thankful for another day. We're thankful for being able to do what we do because there are other people who would wish to be in our position right now. But they're not. So we respect ourselves. We have self-care for ourselves. We appreciate and have gratitude for the moments that we've been able to take part in and achieve. And we head back to the lab to put in the work. Because our mindset needs to stay gold. And for the studies that say that people are happy with a bronze medal, let's figure out what type of mental health that needs to be a part of the conversation for those that have gold and silver. Never. Never, never, never. On this podcast, on my brand, will our expectations for ourselves be less than? And if you're looking for less than, you're looking at the wrong podcast. It's the wrong one. What do you want me to tell you? It's the wrong one. It's the wrong one. I don't know who you should listen to if you are looking for being okay with less than. However, if you're looking for being okay with giving yourself grace, that's a different conversation. Because you deserve grace as well. You're not going to be perfect. However, the mindset stays gold. And giving yourself grace in times where you're struggling is a gold medal mindset. Because nobody's perfect, but I can still want the best for myself. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? See, I have people listening, friends, family, strangers, etc. And I could put this episode a bit longer, but I'm not going to. Because I need you to take time to reflect. Take time to reflect. Think about where you're at. Think about what you want to do. Think about how you want to do it. And know that the Speak Your Vision podcast Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. This is a place. This is a space where we don't let ourselves accept less than. Let's get it. Vision.